Hello, my name is Victor Lloyd Burgess. I'm a financial educator, a lecturer, and an author. Welcome to Exposed. It's a financial investing reality. Talk about the economy, wealth, finances, investing, taxes, and insurance, and any other things my clients or you may ask to see. Just make comments, and I'll try to see if I can do it for you. Like I've always said, let's cut the crap. Forget the hype and see the reality. I use Excel spreadsheets to verify, prove, or expose misconceptions and false claims. Trust is in the math. Math equals truth. The truth is in the math. That's why I use Excel spreadsheets to weed out the true from the false. Here's my background. Freeze and read to your heart's content. Here's my legal disclaimer. Freeze and read to your heart's content. Build this on Excel to make tax planning fast, simple, and easy. So, our previous video, The Tax Swamp, we covered how the 50-plus taxes are eating up our income and our ability to save for our retirement, and that we had how devastating it is to us and how we have to get a handle on it. And that's one of the main reasons we're building these tax calculators in Excel, so we can do these calculations. And also we talked about the 3 U.S. monsters. We're printing money like crazy. We're spending money like crazy, like never before. And we got to do everything in our power to try and protect what we have, to grow it better, and to try and increase our income of what's coming. And we also talked about why does it seem like Americans between the ages of 60 and 69 only have about $212,600 saved up. And I have a video going to explain why when you're in the markets, that's what the markets are really actually averaging. So be looking for that video as well. And remember, we're 74% of every dollar we're making is going into taxes and interest. So we just got to get a handle on this stuff. Now, we covered in the last video the paychecks and how they how badly they're hit on taxes before we even get our hands on them. We covered the Excel tax calculator to be able to calculate the federal tax. And we also talked about the 1040 tax forms where we're going to do our planning on. And basically, we only need those 2 pieces of paper or a picture thereof in this case. So we're going to show you how to build the 1040 first, and then we're going to show you how to build a tax calculator. Then we're going to show you how to put them together, and we're going to do some tax planning samples. All right? So first thing we need to do, of course, is to get the tax table for 2021. And we're going to type in, when we search for it, PDF, because we want a PDF file of that. It's nice and organized. It usually comes in 2 pages. A lot of people make them. You just got to find one that you like and you want to use. Okay. The one I like that I found for this year is this one here. It's the 2 simple pages. It has all the things we're looking for on it. And most of the time when you get a PDF of the 2 pages, they're very, very similar, laid out a little bit different. But mostly they at least have most of the same information. And of course it has your filing status, and the most common things we use is the standard deduction and the IRA and 401k limit parts of these. Okay, so when we look at our thing, we're going to be using today married filing joint, okay, which is also your surviving spouse. 2021 tax rate table, federal. This is the federal. And this is what that table looks like. So some of the people don't use computers and they don't use an Excel, so they have to be able to do a calculation on here by hand. Or you can still use a calculator, but you're not going to use an Excel spreadsheet. So every time you want to change a tax plan situation, you're going to have to recalculate the tax each time. Now, you notice that the numbers here are the exact same numbers here, just skewed by 1 level here. And then they're the same numbers over here, okay? And you'll see a reason for that in just a minute. So when you want to use this and you got to do it in paper, what you have to do is you have to look at your taxable income. Here, the example we're using is $100,000. That's your taxable income. So you start at the top here, you go 0 to 19. Is my taxable income in that range? No. 19 to 81? No. 81,000 to 172,000, yes. So this is the part of the table we're using. The rest of it we're not using. Okay, so we're only using this part. So they've already calculated the tax for you for the first 10% and 12%, and they give you what's called a base amount right here. So that's 9,328. So what's left is account to tax the difference that's over 81,000. So what they're saying is your taxable income falls between these two rates, and the base amount that you have now is already at 9,328, and you're going to add that to 22% of anything over, right, marginal rate, 22% of anything over 81,050. Okay, so what do? We're going to take the $100,000 and we're going to subtract the 81,050. Okay, that's going to give us 18,950. That's the amount that's taxable that's left. They've already done the taxes on the 10 and 12%. Now we're doing the taxes on the 22%. Okay, so 22% times that, and that's 4,169. So we have 4,169 that we have to add to your base amount of 9,032 to give us our complete tax. So we're going to put those together and add them. So the total taxes that we actually are paying on $100,000 of taxable income is $13,497. Now you divide that by the 100,000, and that gives you 13,500. Now 13,500 is the percentage. 13,400 is 13.5% of the 10,000. So out of $100,000 of taxable income, we pay 13,000 or 13.5%. That is our effective tax rate. Now the marginal rate is where you did your calculations, what part of the chart. So they ask you what's your marginal rate. Well, it's 22%, but you didn't pay 22% on a full $100,000 taxable. Follow me? So when we get to put this into a calculator, what we're doing is we have a calculator that looks like this. The one we're going to make today looks like this. And every year we just have to update it by getting these over numbers here, taxable income over amounts, and we type them in here. And then the calculator is going to calculate everything else in here, except we still need to type in the interest rates. So once we type in the interest rates and the over numbers, the calculator does everything else. And then for notation, we go ahead and look up the standard deduction on the PDF because we're going to need that. And if you're over 65 and over, you add the 1,300 to it, so you're at 26,450. Okay, so that's what we need when we're doing our itemized deductions. Okay, so now let's get into the Excel spreadsheet and let's look at what we're going to do today. All right, so what I'm going to do is get out of here, and I'm going to go over here to my text sheet. Now, this is my Excel spreadsheet. So go ahead and open up your Excel spreadsheet and come back to the video. Ignore this stuff over here. These are just my notes and stuff to make sure when I'm showing you how to build this calculator, I don't leave anything out and I don't make any mistakes, hopefully. Okay, so we need a picture of the 1040 federal tax form. So you're going to open up your browser. Okay, here we go. Let's go. I'm going to use Firefox. All right. So what I'm going to type in here is IRS tax forms. Okay, IRS tax forms. This should bring up what we're looking for. So you can see here, now it's important I recommend that you use the government tax forms made by the government, so you get the latest updates or whatever changes they have, instead of going to somebody else and maybe have something a little bit outdated. So you can see right here, the first one came up this time is it's irs.gov, right? And it's forms and instructions. That's what we're looking for. So you click onto that, and now you're in the IRS government website, and you can check the link to make sure you're in IRS. Okay, so forms and instructions. All right, now you come down here, and we're looking for the 1040 right now because that's what we're interested in. So we type in 1040 right here into the search and say, okay, go get it. And now in the 1040, you'll see it comes up. It says, here's the 1040, but you also can see you have your Schedule 1, your Schedule 2, and your Schedule 3. We're going to click on the 1040 because that's the one we need. And what's going to come up is a nice PDF in this case that you can actually download. So you can download this into your computer. But this is page 1 and page 2. It's just 2 pages for your 1040. And that's all we need really to start doing our tax planning. But we want to have a picture of this, a JPEG, because we can paste the JPEG directly into Excel. So by whatever means you go to get your pictures off the internet, or you're going to download your JPEG and somehow bring that into your PC as a JPEG. What I use is Godwin. Now, I've been using this for years. It's absolutely free unless you want to get the pro version. It's fantastic. I really love it. Just comes this little window pops up and you do your cutting and pasting from there. So you go to godwin.com and you look for the products, and you're looking for Godwin print screen. Okay, in a print screen, you just download it. You just click right here when you get in here, and you pick which system you need to download depending on what you have. And then they have also, if you wanted to buy the Pro, there's some extra features in it, and plus here they have other products, but the Pro is the second one down here. And it's an annual $24.95 per year to have it. You get the updates, and that's your personal license and stuff. So that's up to you. I've been using the free sample one. So go ahead and go get your JPEG of page 1 and page 2 of your 1040 and come on back. Me, I already have it. So you take your JPEG and page 1 and you just set it into the corner of your spreadsheet, just like that. It's real simple. And what we're going to do is do some modifications on this, because we need to we can't type in this picture, right? So we want to make these cells in Excel, but keep the picture, so we don't have to redo or remake or copy this entire picture. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I take my page 1 and I make a copy of it. Left click it to select it, then right click it to copy it. Copy it, and then you paste it. I'm going to paste it over here. Okay, so we have it. Now I'm going to take this first one we have here, because there's CDs right here in the middle. Now let me kind of zoom in a little bit so it makes it a little bit easier, clear to see. Hope that's easier. I want to be able to type in these cells right here. And since it's a picture, I can't. And I don't know how to make the cells go on top of the picture. So what I do is I cut this form up a little bit. What I do is I copied the form from here, so I have this, so I can cut this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click it, and you can see this little crop symbol. We're going to do a cropping on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and crop it right above the 1. Okay, just click out here and it crops it. So I just cut off the cells, lines, items 1 and down. And that's what I'm going to keep up there for right now. Now I'm going to take another copy of this. You always want to keep a full copy here in case something happens, and you can start over again. And you keep everything the same size. Okay, paste. Now we got the full one. Okay, so we've already cropped it down from the top. Now what we want to do is we want to get line 1 out of here on this one. So let's crop that down, and then let's crop it again. And what we just want is, and you don't have to just take right here. So you just have line 1, and trust me, it's worth your while. And then we're going to paste that right under it, just like that. So now we have our 1 there, and we just make sure it's the same size. Okay. Now we're going to copy this again, and this time what I want to do is I want to be able to take this left side here out of the pictures, because I'm trying to isolate these cells. So we're going to crop again. We're going to go, I go to just below line 7. Okay. And then we're going to also crop again, and we're going to go just above line 2A. Right, so we're selecting these cells plus the line 7 below it. Okay, type out here again, and then we move this up here, and basically right now we can match it up, and we have the part we need to isolate these cells now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this part again and paste it here. Then I'm going to crop the one that's in here, and I'm going to take it all the way down to just the 2A to 6A numbers. And that's going to be right there. Now that leaves me some room here to put my spreadsheet numbers here. So down up here, you can see we select this whole column here. We can now move this line up here and line it up with the inside of the 2A to 6A. But we have to also line up our cells. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 2A, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're going to go up here, make sure we're at home. Let's lock this down because we're going to keep going up here. And we're going to go here to the border, making borders. And we're going to pick all borders. And now you can see here we have all borders here. Now let's also, while we're here, let's just take this whole piece right here. And let's make the fill in the cells as all white, up here white. Don't do no fill, do up here and do white. And that's going to clean this up so we see our cells. See how easy to see these cells now? Now we're going to bring this up, and we need to match the cell heights with this. So we're going to have to stretch this. Don't grab the corners when you do this, the tops or the sides, but not the corners. Here I'm going to grab the bottom, and I'm looking right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, I'm looking right here because I want to match these cells up to here. So as I pull down, I'm going to look at my 6A and line it up with the bottom, because that cell down there at the bottom, okay, is 6A. Now I'll move it up a little bit, so 2A. Now you can see here 2A is this cell, 3A is this cell. See that, how they line up? We've cut that out so we can move that down. There you go. That's what we want to do. Well, move it down, line it up over here. You can look at it over here and watch it line up. And then we can stretch this guy and bring it down to the top of that one. Okay. So this way our heights are the same. Okay. Now we need to do the right side here. So we're going to take this again, and we're going to crop it, and we're going to cut everything out on the left side all the way to the right side, just to the right side, and just so we're copying just the right side. We're going to cut that. So now we got our B side here, the right side, and we can line that up. Try to line it up here with the numbers here, and make it try to look, you know, we can use the up and down arrows, and then you can stretch this, or not stretch this. So here's our cells here, and we can click here, and we can move the right side here and bring it up over there. And then we can take this with our, and move it over. So anyway, we now can type in here, which we couldn't do before. Now, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to now take the bottom part and replace line 7. So let me zoom out so you can see what we're doing. So we're going to take this again. We're going to copy this, and we're going to paste it here. Copy and paste. And then we're going to crop it again. And what we're going to do is take down all the way just for line 7 to still be on it. Okay? So line 7's there. Okay, now we can move this up and go actually over the top of this one. Line up over here and line up. We got to stretch this one. Notice that line 7's too high. So we're going to have to take this. Now let's put some cells over here. We're going to put 2 sets of cells here and go back up here and make those. So what we want to do is, and then let's bring this one in to line right here. So line 1, line 2B. So now we got to get 6A to be at the bottom here. So we still got to stretch this guy. And just watch here at the corner to get 6B into this cell here. So 6B is right here. Now we're lined up with 6B, 6A is all lined up. And now when we bring this guy up on where 7 is, it matches up nicely, and we have line 7 through line 15. Then we can copy these down to, looks like 9 because we have a we have a missing space here. So what we want to do is just copy these down. Now, let's put a 1 in here. Let's put a 1 in here. And in the second cell, we're going to say equals, and we're going to click in the top one with your mouse, equals that plus, so shift equals plus 1, and just type a 1. Okay? So, and I'm going to make those bold. Go up here and make them bold. And then I'm just going to copy these down. Control down. Control down. Control D. Control D is control down. And it copies them down 1 through 6, so you don't have to type those. Let's just shrink this up a little bit. So our 1s here matches our 1 here, so we can make sure we're lined up. Now we can go all the way down to 9. So let's go ahead and copy this down to 9. Control D again for control down. Now 9. So now we got to grab this guy, and we got to stretch the 9 to match that. So we're going to stretch the 9 on this bottom one here. Let me actually crop it down here first. Make it line up down here. Okay, there we go. Now we select it. Now we're going to stretch it, and we're going to be watching over here to line up the 9. Okay, so we're just going to stretch it. It's going to line up to the 9 nicely. And then we got 10 and 10B. So we need 2 here. So let's just copy here. Copy and paste down here. Skip the 1 set of cells because they just go here. And now we can go all the way down to 15. So let's go all the way down to 15. Control D for down again. And now here we have 10. And then we have 10 again. So it's 10A, 10B, and 10C. So let's just type 10 in each one of those. Don't worry about the ABC unless you want to put it in there because we're not using these numbers anyway. And then for after 10C, we got 11 here. You see 11 pop up and it goes to 15. So then we just grab this again and we just kind of stretch it a little bit more and line up the 15 down here. Now we can see we're lined up really nice. Now I didn't want to do all that cutting to get these cells. This was a little bit different. And you use these. You don't always, these we just put out over here. So they're going to be in our row over here. Okay. So now I've got that done. What I'm going to do is, I got to do the bottom page here. Okay. We're going to do one more copy paste here. Copy, paste, and we're going to crop this and just take the bottom of the sign here. So we're going to crop it and we're going to go down to the end here. Okay, now that's going to go here, right over the top of that one. Okay, and there's a reason for that. You'll see it in a minute. Let's go ahead now and let's go take. That's my spare. Well, you always want to keep a copy of each. So we're going to take page 2 here, and we're going to copy it. I'm going to paste it here. Okay, so now we got our page 2. Okay, so let me zoom in over here. Okay, so now page 2. So now we're going to copy from here, and we're going to try and get as close as we can here. Now notice this one's a little bit high, so we go to the one a little bit lower. So we're going to just copy this, copy and paste it right there, paste. And then we're going to type 16. No, yes, we're just going to type 16. Okay. Now I can grab another one of these, copy and paste right below it. Now grab the 17, and we're going to go to 24 here. See the 24? So Control D, Control down. Now we're not quite to 24 yet, so let's go down a little more. Control down. There you go, 24, because there's a blank space here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and see if we can just stretch it. So let's go ahead and copy this. Copy and paste it over here. And then we're going to take this one and we're going to crop it. And we're going to crop it up to the 2024. Let's just do that. Or here's one. Let's zoom up here. Okay, let's try it there. I cut it at the 33. let's go ahead and try to stretch this. Now we're looking at the 24 and trying to stretch it to the 24 here so these here can match. So you grab it here in the middle down here and you just keep pulling and you stop it when it looks like these are ahead. So now let's see how that lines up. So we have 16. Now we can stretch this one down a little bit to match up to 16 here and stretch the bottom here to match up to 24 again. Okay, so now our 16 to 24 looks like they line up really nice. Then we have a blank cell here, and then we have 25 in here. Again, these cells, we're just going to put all in a row here. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy here. And we're going to paste it here. We're going to skip a space and enter, paste there, and then we're going to type 25, enter. Then we're going to copy here because we need to grab the formula because we just messed up the formula and paste it underneath there. Now we can copy these down all the way, it looks like, to 33. So Control D for down, Control D, and we have 4 25s. So we can just grab here and go 4 25s, Control down. All right, now we're 26 here and we're still lined up. It looks like our 6 is on, our 27 to 31 is on. We just need to stretch a little bit to get to, to not stretch but go backwards to line up 33. So that looks pretty good. We're all lined up there on all those numbers. We just need to go across here, and I just usually grab those numbers and do a Control right. So it's copying that blank cell, Control right across, and that ends it there to 33. Now if we look at our form here, we've got us all the way down to 33. So let's go ahead and crop this guy down to 33. Crop. Move this down to 33, just past the 33 because we already have it. And right to that line. Then we bring this up, and then 34 is right under 33. You just bring these two down, Control down. Now we got 33 to 35. Now 35A, don't worry about it. So let's go ahead and stretch this down and try to line up the 35A to the 35 that we have. A little bit more. Oops. Let me raise this up here so I can see it. Keep it on the screen here. Still can't. Okay. Let's go ahead and go up a little bit. A little bit more. We're almost there. I'm zoomed way in. When you guys do this, you don't have to be zoomed in this far, so you keep better track of it. Okay, so now 35 is kind of there. Let's do a little bit more. And a little bit more. You can adjust this later and stuff, but let's go ahead. And what I'm going to do now is 37 is way down here. Oh, there's a 36 right here. Almost missed that. See that 36? So let's copy this right here for the 36 and type 36 in it. And then we'll copy that down for the 37. Control down. Now we got our 36 and 37. So I think I'm going to crop. Let's make another copy of this. Paste it over here. And I'm going to crop this one up from the bottom to let me move this up to the 30. Oops. 36, 37. 37. There you go. And let's match this one up there. So we're going to crop this from the bottom to the last one here is 38. So let's just take the whole bottom off all the way to 38. Now we can work with this little piece better and we can see what we're doing. Now I'm going to line the 37 and up with this 37 here. There you go. Now the 36 is lined up to the 36. The 37 is lined up to 37. We still lined up to 35 here. Great. Now we can take this guy here, and say move to the back. So I right click him and say send to back. Now it's underneath here, and I just took it up under there to the we already have the UO amount here. So what we're going to do is just cover up the 37s and just tuck it right there. And now we have the bottom of the sheet. 37, we have 38 to go. So let's copy this, put it on here for 38, and type 38 in there. And now I do believe we have all the squares done. All right. So one last thing to do here. Again, you can build this any way you want. I'm going to save my work. Save my work. And I'm now going to take this line here, and I'm going to hide. Well, what I need to do first is I need to crop these guys. What I want to do is take these cells out. Okay, I'm going to take these cells out and move these cells over. So I'm going to crop here. Whoops, it didn't crop. Right click, crop. And I'm going to crop this one right to the 1. That's why we had to separate that one. Okay. And then I'm going to crop this set. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take it all the way to the numbers. Right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. Crop this one. Cut these numbers out. Okay. And then we're going to leave these two here. Well, I guess can't leave number 2 there because we didn't let's make a copy here, paste, and then is number 2 on here? Yep, there's page 2. I want it to page 2, so we're going to crop this to get to page 2. Okay, so we stick to page 2 up here, because when we crop this, that's going to go away. So now let's crop this one. We're going to crop this guy and take away those cells right up to the 16. There we go. Right. And then this might be the last one we need to crop, I think. Crop this one. Oh, I guess we still got to crop this guy to get it out, these cells out of the way. So we're going to take that one down all the way to here. There you go. Now we can come up here. Let's take this one, this whole line. Let's just delete this line. So right click the H, and it's going to say delete. We're going to delete that whole column. There you go. Now we can highlight the G, and we can move our 1. Yep. We're going to move our 1 right here behind this one up here. You know, they all should disappear out there, and then we can use the H to adjust it. So now we're going to adjust the I now and make it end with the edge here. And now we have all of our cells matched up with our sheet. So that's our 1040 right there. Okay. Now what's left is to label what these are so we can do our DAX planning. First thing we got to do is we got to also type the formulas in here. Okay, to go ahead and speed things up, what I've done is I put in the labels here for the different cells and color-coded the cells here. So what we are going to do right now, and your sheet should look real similar to this, is we're going to put the formulas in. So we're going to go up here to formulas, and we're going to go here to show formulas. And it's going to stretch everything out, but just scan to the right, and you'll see your formulas show up here. So all you need to do is write these formulas in as you see them here, freeze the video, type in the formulas, write the notes to your right, so you have notes here. If you want to use my notes right now, I'm going to show you a better set of notes later, but you can, if this is a starting point, but I'm going to show you a better set of notes. But you get right now, you got to get the formulas in here. So type them in exactly as it is. Now this is I. This is FGHI. So we're in column I. So this is not 124 to 131. This is I-24 to I-31. This is I-34 plus I-35. All these things here in front look like ones are I's, all right? Because we happen to, in this case, we landed on I column when we put these in. So the if formula, it's going to be equals if. There's going to be a parenthesis. Then it's a I-37 minus I-40 is less than or equal to 0. Then it's a comma, which means then if it's less than 0, to put a 0. So the comma means put if this is true, then put a 0. Then the next comma is or else I-37 minus 34. Because here it says, over here, what it's saying is, it's saying subtract line 14 from line 11. If 0 or less, enter 0. So either do the subtraction or put a 0. And that's what this if formula is doing. Okay? But remember, it's working on Excel cells, which is I-37 and I-40, and not line 14 and 11. But it ends up being 14 and 11, which are your things here. Okay, follow me on that. So once you do that, then we're going to scan down again. We're going to scan down again, and we're going to get some more formulas here and more notes. Okay, so now here's some quick notes, and here's your formulas from line 18 to 34. Actually, 36 shows up on here. Another if command down here. Remember, these are all I's, not 157. It's I-57, I-55, okay? Then freeze the frame and then go again. And this is the last of your formulas. So get these formulas in. Here's some notes. And when you're done with that, just come up here to the top and go to formulas and show formulas again. We'll toggle it back off, and then they go off. Now we can go to the left, and you should have a nice looking calculator like this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to a fresh tab. So you're going to click on a fresh tab, and you should end up with a fresh sheet that looks like this, because we're going to need this A1 corner. Now again, don't worry about my notes, because what we're building here is the calculator. Now here's a calculator. We're going to build this calculator from scratch right here, and then we're going to test it, make sure it works for you, because you're going to need yours to work, right? I'm going to copy the colors, which is this paintbrush here, to right here. Okay, so now we're not going to mess this up. I've tried to do this different ways. This is the best way to do it, to put it in the class to teach you guys, so we don't mess up and have to do it again and again. So I just copied the color formats here to here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the titles up here. Now, I'm going to now copy those so that you can now copy where those belong. And I'm just copying 1, 2, 3, and that fills in. So what you're going to do here is you're going to type 2021 federal tax table. Now that's all. There's one cell here. You type it all in one cell, it'll overflow to cell. So it's all in one cell. So just type federal tax table in C, married joint in E, and then taxable in one cell, and income in the other cell. And then you can align. Let me lock this formula thing down. Then see here, you can, like here, if this is center, it goes to center. If it's left, it goes to left, center, right. And that one you want to put on right, or this one you want to put on left instead of center and right, because then so we're going to put this one on left. See that? So they're on opposite sides. So that says tax and income. That's the only two that are in there. The federal is one cell, which is G, and it's of course lined left. If you did center, it's going to look funny. If you do the right side, it's going to, so you're going that left aligned, okay? These are left aligned, meaning left to the left side. Then over is one, not over, rate, limit, tax, and just, so those are all single cells. This right here is where you're going to be typing in your taxable income amount. So we're going to format this. When you're done typing that, we're going to format this format, cells. We're going to go to currency. We're going to go to the negative one here, the red. And we're going to go to 0 here. So we're not going to have any pennies. Okay. So currency, the red one, 0 pennies. And say OK. Then when you type there, let's say you type a 1. It should say $1, which it does. Okay, so let's delete this now. When you're done filling those in, then what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this whole section here, including down here, dollars. So let's type 1 here to make sure. Nope, it didn't hook. Now sometimes when I do that, that's what happens. So I always double check it. So format, cells. See, now it's back to number because we used the separator here. Then you have to hit currency again, and then when you do it, now it says 1. Okay, so we double check that one. Now this one here, we want it to be percentage. Since we formatted all of this for dollars, all right, we know this has to be percentage. So we're going to go ahead and grab this, and we're going to go format, cells, percentage right here. And we're going to make it a 2 here. It should be a 2 because we have 2 decimal points. And now when we type here the 1 again, it's not going to be dollars. It's going to be 1%. And that's what we want. So now we got to type in these, the dollars and percents. So we're going to copy these, type them here. And then we're going to copy these rates and type them here. And what I did also is, see the plus signs on there? Let's go look at it again. Now we put it back. The percentage of 2 estimates, you can see right here, it has a sample that says 10%. So we want to go to custom, and you can do this on any cell to put anything you want in there. We go to custom, we see it at 0.0%, and then what we want to do is we want to do a quotation mark, and we want to put a plus sign, and then we want to put a space, and then we want to do a quote sign. So what it's gonna do is anything in the quotes it's gonna type. So we're gonna put a plus and a space and say OK. Now it has the plus sign there that's missing if you don't have that. Okay, we have to type in these here. You got to hand type those in, and I usually shrink it to an 8, and then we're going to type these in. I usually shrink that to an 8, so it's labeling these. Now you also have to type in the standard deduction numbers right here. So you're going to do that, and then here we have a formula, and it's going to type equals. Click right here, this plus this, enter, and that has the totaling those. All right. Now everything down here we've formatted as dollar signs, including down here, and those are all dollar signs. But these two, we want these two to be percentage, without the plus sign, of course. So we're going to format those cells as percentage. Here's percentage. We're going to go with 2 decimal points, but not customizing it to the plus sign, okay? And then those will just be percentages. So once you got that all typed in, we're going to do the formulas. Now to do the formulas, we go to Formula, and we say Show Formulas, okay? And it stretches it all out again. Okay, so now first thing I want to do is I'm going to come down here. Now notice these are different colors. The reason these are different colors is because the formulas in the gray, when you copy down, are exactly the same, but the other formula is a little bit different, so you can't just copy down. So that's the reason I have it color-coded like that. You can change the color code and do whatever you want, but it makes it easier if you have it. And the reason this is a 65 over here is because that has a custom that calls it over age and then the number 65. Okay, so I'm going to take the first one here, which is making the X's, and I'm going to copy it up here, and I'm going to paste it right here. Okay. And then I'm going to move this bigger so we can see the whole formula. And this is the formula here is putting the X according to where our line we're doing the calculations ends up being. But here's the thing. Notice the note here says B2 must equal $B, $2 to use control down, because we're going to copy these down instead of typing them all by hand. Then use find and replace to clear them. So what we're doing is, you can see here, it says B2 is greater than C4, and then it says B2 is less than D4. Make it a true with an X. All right. Well, this B2 happens to be right here. B2. It's referring to your taxable income right here. That's taxed right here. Let me go ahead and clear that one out of there for now. So, in order for us to copy this down instead of having us type this, 6 times, what we're going to do is we're going to click on here, and when you type the formula in, you're going to put a $sign in front of the B, and then you're going to do the same thing here, okay? So that's what you're going to be typing in this first column here, okay? Once you have that done typing, then you're going to take your mouse and click here and drag it down, and then you're going to do a Control D for down. Control D for down. Now you can see the B2s have stayed the same. See this? But the other ones have changed to different cells, which we needed them to do. Once you have that done, we're going to get rid of the $signs, because I want you to be able to cut and paste this formula into any place else and it still work. And it won't do that if we have these $signs. So you come back to home up here, home. You're going to do find, select, and replace. See that there's find and replace? So find, select, and pick replace. Now what we're doing here is we're going to type a $sign. Okay, so now let me talk a little bit about the $signs, okay? A little bit confusing, and most people that are watching this probably know this anyway, but there's might be some newbies here that don't know. The 30 here, then these show 30, because all of these say they equal what this is. So if you click on these and say trace, it goes to 30, this one goes to 30, and this one goes to 30, or what is L5, right? This is L5, okay? So there's no $signs here. However, and then this one here, we're typing a 50 here, and this is equaling this one. So if we go here, and do a trace, it is saying this 50 is going here, okay? And if I copy these, this will all work. Copy, paste it here. You see, it still all works. If I change this to 40, now it all equals 40. And I change this to 10, then that one equals 10. See, it still works because we don't have $signs. But if when I was writing this formula, right, and I put, because I wanted it to be L5, and I put $sign before the 5 and the L, now I copy down, Control down. See, it's still working. If I change this to 20 now, it's still working, okay? But if I copy this now to here, and I change this to, let's say, 50, notice it didn't work, because these are going to this one. This one's going to this one. And this one's still going to this one, because the $sign said always lock into this one. Now, if I come over here and notice there's the L's here, and we go over here, and again we do, now if this is copied down to here, it no longer locked into this one, and it's going to this one. So let's close this. Now we type this to 45, they go to 45. We type this one to 60, those go to 60. It keeps them different. So now you can copy these, and everything's going to work when you copy. That's what we did here when we got the $signs out of this part right here. So when you move this, the X still works and the calculator still works. Follow me? So we have a working calculator. If if you're going to go change it to like they change it, let's say they add another row, or like California, there's like 3 more rows. You can add it here really simple by, you just grab these and you right click insert and you say shift down. That adds 2 more rows. And now you can take this and copy these down and they'll work just fine. Control down. All right. But these won't, because you need to do what? You need to add the $sign before you copy it down. So I'm just inserting 2 rows here. So what I need to do is I need to come here above the rows I just inserted, and I need to add the $signs down and then copy down the $signs so the X part works and the rest of this works. But now I also have to change this to the new numbers that will go here. So that's how you can insert if you need to insert. You do the same thing you did when you built it. This is the only one you need to replace the $signs. Copy that down and good. The rest you can just copy down because these are going to be handwritten in. And you're not going to have 81, 81, 81, 22, 22, 22. Okay, it's not going to be that. So let me just reverse this, take those out, and we're good to go again. Calculator should be working fine. But 5, 1, 2, 3. All right. So calculator's working. Everything's fine. Save your work. Save your work. And then what you want to do is, so you don't mess up your calculator, you click this one cell, just this one cell right here. You do format cells, and what you're going to do is protection. You're going to undo the locked. See that? X means locked, undo the lock. And you say OK. So this cell's unlocked. So now what you want to do, you can still use the calculator. Wow, that film is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. So I got to stop this video for right now. I'm going to have to do a third video where we're going to do the tax planning. So we'll go over some tax planning in the next video. So be looking for that. In the meantime, let me know what you want. Use comments to get the videos you want to see. Subscribe and get access to information and data as it's added. Economic trends, taxes, evolution, retirement planning, more, inflation, taxes, whatever you guys want, just leave some comments. I'll try to make videos on it for you. Upcoming videos, of course, we're going to cover why after 30 years of investing, the average 401k is only at $212,600 at the age of 65. Statistics and odds on the S&P, Dow, NASDAQ, and Russell, and we're going to go in why the returns aren't what people tend to think about when you're talking with financial planners. And alternatives to traditional retirement plans, Roths, tax-free strategies, improving financing, and max-funded options that are available, how to use charitable giving, and how annuities really work and why and how to use them. The real stuff uncovered and exposed and based on Excel spreadsheets. So don't forget, subscribe and like, share, and ring that bell. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me get videos to more and more people. And share this with as many people as you can. Please help me out. Take care. So that's it for tonight. Bye. Thank you. Love you all. See you next time.